Welcome back to the Eat Well podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Today we're going to tackle a question I'm sure we've all thought about more than once. Just how much water should we be drinking?
Right.
So we're going to dive deep today into this recent article from eatwell.blog
Yeah.
that really tries to unpack this common question.
Okay.
I'm sure you've all heard of it. The old 8x8 rule, right?
Right.
8-ounce glasses a day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, get ready to kind of rethink everything you thought you knew about hydration. Because it turns out the answer is way more interesting than just chugging down a set number of glasses.
What's so fascinating about this topic is that, we all know water is essential.
Right?
But how much you need can really feel like you're solving a riddle.
I love solving riddles, especially when it comes to my health.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
let's start with the basics.
Okay.
Why is water so crucial for our bodies? I know it's more than just avoiding thirst. What's the bigger picture?
Think of water as the ultimate behind-the-scenes worker in your body.
Okay.
I mean, it's involved in almost every single process.
Wow.
From regulating your temperature and transporting nutrients to lubricating your joints and even supporting brain function.
So it's not just about feeling parched.
No.
It's literally keeping our systems running smoothly.
Yes.
So what about this 8x8 rule then? Is it just completely outdated? Yeah.
It's a good starting point.
Okay.
But like most things in health and nutrition, it's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
So the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, they offer guidelines.
Okay.
And they kind of suggest that men aim for around 3.7 liters daily.
Wow.
And women should shoot for about 2.7.
Okay.
Before you start panicking, thinking you're drastically behind.
Right.
Remember, these are averages.
Okay.
And they include fluids from all sources.
Right.
Not just plain water. And we actually get a decent amount of our daily intake from food.
Oh, interesting.
Especially fruits and vegetables.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
These NASM recommendations sound like a lot more than 8 glasses a day.
They do.
Are they really attainable?
Yeah.
Or are there cases where those amounts might not be appropriate?
So that's where understanding the individual factors comes into play.
Okay.
So while those guidelines provide a general framework, your personal hydration needs can vary significantly depending on a range of factors.
All right. Now, you've got me really intrigued.
Yeah.
What are some of those key factors
Okay.
that make our water needs so unique?
Well, let's start with the obvious, like age and gender. So as we move through different life stages, from infancy to adulthood and beyond, our body's requirements change.
Okay.
For example, as we age, our thirst mechanism can become less sensitive.
Wow.
Which makes older adults more susceptible to dehydration. Oh, interesting.
And men and women have different needs as well.
So it's not just about, how much water we're drinking, but also, who we are and where we are in life. What other factors come into play.
Think about your daily routine.
Okay.
If you're sweating it out at the gym or going for a run, you're losing more fluid, so you need to replenish accordingly.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way once.
Oh, really?
I completely forgot my water bottle during a hot yoga class.
Oh.
And let's just say it wasn't a pretty sight. I felt like I was wilting right there on the mat.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And that actually highlights another factor, environment.
Yeah.
Hot and humid climates, as well as high altitudes, can really ramp up fluid loss.
Wow.
Through sweating and respiration.
So the more we sweat,
the
more we need to drink.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, I'm also really curious about the connection between our diet and hydration.
Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The eatwell.blog article emphasizes that what you eat and drink can significantly affect your water needs.
Interesting.
So high protein and high sodium diets require your kidneys to work harder to process those substances.
Okay.
And that extra work demands more water.
Wow.
Even things like coffee and alcohol, while enjoyable, can increase fluid loss because of their diuretic effect.
So it's not just about what we're drinking,
exactly,
but what we're putting in our bodies in general.
Yes.
It's all connected.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned eatwell.blog a couple times now.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great resource.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So eatwell.blog is a fantastic website dedicated to helping you navigate the world of healthy eating.
Cool.
They have a ton of informative articles,
okay,
delicious recipes,
awesome,
and tips on everything from hydration to balanced meals.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be heading over there after this.
Cool.
Now, we've talked about the importance of staying hydrated.
Right.
But I'm also curious about the flip side.
Okay.
What happens when we don't drink enough water?
Dehydration can really sneak up on you. It can range from mild to severe.
Yeah.
Thirst is the most obvious sign.
Right.
But by the time you're feeling thirsty, your body is already sending signals that it needs more fluids.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are some other signs of dehydration we should be aware of?
Think about it this way.
Yeah.
When your body is lacking water, things start to dry up.
Yeah.
You might notice dark urine,
Okay.
dry skin and lips, fatigue, headaches, and even dizziness.
Dizziness.
Yeah.
That sounds a bit concerning.
Yeah.
Are there more serious consequences of dehydration?
So in severe cases, dehydration can lead to heat exhaustion.
Oh, wow.
Heat stroke, kidney problems, and even seizures.
So being mindful of our fluid intake is
yes,
crucial.
It is.
But before we go any further,
Okay.
I have a question that's been bugging me.
Okay.
Can you actually drink too much water?
Uh-huh.
It seems counterintuitive, but is there such a thing as overdoing it?
It's a great question, and the answer is yes.
Really?
Overhydration, also known as water intoxication or hyponatremia,
Okay.
can occur when you consume excessive amounts of water.
Wow.
Which dilutes the sodium levels in your blood.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
So too much water can actually be harmful.
Yes.
That's kind of mind-blowing.
It is. How do we know if we're drinking too much?
Balance is key.
Okay.
As with most things in life.
Right.
In most cases, your kidneys are incredibly efficient at filtering out excess water.
Okay.
But it's still possible to overdo it.
Got it.
So listen to your body.
Okay.
If you're feeling nauseous, bloated, or experiencing any unusual symptoms.
Okay. It's always best to err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
And consult with a medical professional.
That makes sense.
Yes.
It's important to find that sweet spot.
Yeah.
And stay within a healthy range.
Yes.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
But before we move on, I want to get practical.
Okay.
What are some tips or tricks for staying hydrated throughout the day?
So the eatwell.blog article has some excellent advice on this.
Oh, good.
One of the simplest and most effective things you can do is carry a reusable water bottle with you.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere you go.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Having water readily available definitely makes it easier to stay hydrated.
Right.
Are there any other strategies that can help?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can set reminders on your phone.
Okay.
Use a hydration app. Or even make a conscious effort to drink a glass of water.
Right.
Before each meal.
Those are great tips.
Yeah.
And it reminds me that staying hydrated shouldn't feel like a chore. It can be enjoyable.
Yes.
What about the role of food in all this? Can we get some of our daily fluid intake
Absolutely.
from what we eat?
Don't underestimate the power of water-rich foods.
Okay.
Like watermelon, cucumbers, and leafy greens.
Yeah.
They can definitely contribute to your overall hydration.
So it's a combination of what we drink and what we eat.
It is.
I'm starting to see hydration in a whole new light.
Good.
Now, I'm curious to know more about how specific diets, like keto or high protein, affect our water needs.
Yes.
Do those require any adjustments?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll delve into in more detail after a quick break.
Sounds fascinating.
Okay.
Can't wait to hear more about that.
Okay.
But first, a reminder for our listeners. If you're enjoying this deep dive and want to explore even more fantastic content on healthy eating and living, head over to eatwell.blog.
Yes.
You won't be disappointed.
It's an incredible resource.
Yes.
Filled with valuable information and delicious recipes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we'll be right back to continue our discussion on hydration and how it relates to different dietary approaches.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
All right. So before the break, we were talking about some practical ways to stay hydrated throughout the day.
Right.
Now let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
And explore how different dietary approaches might impact your water needs.
Yes, I'm particularly interested in this.
Okay.
Because so many people are experimenting with diets like keto, high protein, and intermittent fasting these days.
Yeah.
And it's important to understand how those choices might affect our hydration game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's start with the ketogenic diet.
Okay.
Often called keto for short.
Right.
It's a very high-fat, very low-carb approach, and it can lead to what's known as the keto flu.
Oh, yeah.
In those initial stages.
Yeah.
This isn't an actual flu,
right,
but a period of adjustment. As your body shifts from burning carbs to burning fat for fuel.
Ah, yes, the dreaded keto flu.
Yes.
I've heard stories of headaches, fatigue, and just overall misery.
Yeah.
Is dehydration a factor in that at all?
It certainly can be.
Okay.
When you drastically cut carbs, your body releases stored glycogen,
Cool.
which is bound to water.
Okay.
So you end up losing water weight.
Got it.
And if you aren't replenishing those fluids,
right,
it can worsen those keto flu symptoms.
So staying on top of water intake is even more important.
Yes.
When you're starting keto.
Exactly.
Got it.
Make sure you're drinking plenty of water, especially during those first few days or weeks.
Okay.
As your body adjusts to a ketogenic diet.
Good to know.
Yeah.
What about high-protein diets?
Yeah.
How do those fit into the hydration puzzle?
High-protein diets can also increase your water needs.
Okay.
When your body breaks down protein, it produces byproducts like urea, which need to be flushed out through your kidneys. This process requires more water.
Okay.
So if you're eating a lot of protein, you'll need to up your fluid intake to keep things running smoothly.
It's amazing how intricate our bodies are.
It is.
All these processes working behind the scenes to keep us functioning.
Yeah.
Speaking of fascinating processes, what about intermittent fasting?
Yeah.
It's such a popular eating pattern these days.
Yes, it is.
How does that affect hydration?
So the key with intermittent fasting is to ensure you're hydrating well during your eating windows.
Got it.
Since you're essentially compressing your calorie intake into a shorter time frame, you want to make sure you're getting enough fluids during those hours.
So no chugging water during the fasting periods, but prioritizing hydration when you are eating.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And remember, even though you're not consuming food during your fasting windows, your body is still working, still burning energy.
And it needs water to function properly.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget that our bodies are always on. Even when we aren't actively eating.
Yes.
This has been such an informative discussion. I feel like I'm finally starting to understand the nuances of hydration.
Good.
For our listeners who want to learn more about this topic and other aspects of healthy eating, where can they go?
Well, eatwell.blog is an excellent resource.
Okay.
They have a ton of information on hydration, balanced meals, and overall healthy living.
Great.
They even have some delicious recipes that incorporate those water-rich foods we talked about earlier.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll be checking them out for sure.
Awesome.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier.
Okay.
The potential dangers of both dehydration and overhydration. Can you elaborate on why finding that balance is so crucial?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've talked about the signs of dehydration. Right.
But it's important to remember that overhydration, while less common, can also pose risks.
Okay.
It can disrupt your electrolyte balance, leading to symptoms like confusion, nausea, and headaches.
Wow.
In severe cases, it can even be life-threatening.
That's why it's so crucial to listen to your body and find that sweet spot for your individual needs.
Exactly.
So it's not just about chugging water all day long.
No.
It's about being mindful and paying attention to our body signals.
It is.
Is there anything else our listeners should keep in mind as they kind of navigate their personal hydration journeys?
I think the key takeaway is that understanding your hydration needs is an ongoing process.
Okay.
There's no magic number or one-size-fits-all approach. Your needs can change depending on your age, activity level, environment, and even your diet.
It's about finding that personalized hydration strategy that works best for you.
It is.
And it's about making hydration a priority.
Yes.
Not just something we think about when we're feeling thirsty.
Right, because by then it might be too late.
Exactly.
Proactive hydration is key to feeling and performing at our best.
Yeah.
It impacts everything from our energy levels and cognitive function to our digestion and even our mood.
This has been incredibly insightful.
Oh, good.
Thank you for breaking down this complex topic.
You're welcome.
In such a clear and engaging way.
Thank you.
Now, before we say goodbye, do you have any final thoughts or advice for our listeners?
I would simply encourage everyone to pay attention to their body's signals and make gradual, sustainable changes to their hydration habits.
Got it.
Even small adjustments like carrying a water bottle or setting reminders to drink throughout the day can make a big difference.
Great advice.
Thank you.
So as we wrap up this episode, I want to leave our listeners with a call to action.
I love it.
I'm curious to know, what small change can you make today to prioritize your hydration?
Yes.
Is it carrying a water bottle with you everywhere you go?
Yeah.
Setting reminders on your phone? Adding more water-rich foods to your diet?
Right.
The possibilities are endless.
They are.
And remember, for even more fantastic tips and resources on healthy eating, be sure to visit eatwell.blog.
It's a great resource.
They have a wealth of information and a wonderful community dedicated to well-being.
It's amazing how even small, consistent changes can have a significant impact on our health and well-being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what the Eat Well podcast is all about, empowering you with the knowledge and inspiration to make healthy choices that feel good and fit seamlessly into your life.
It's been a pleasure diving deep into this topic with you all today.
Likewise. A huge thank you to our incredible listeners for joining us on this hydration adventure.
Thank you.
We hope you found it informative, inspiring, and maybe even a little bit thirst-quenching.
I hope so.
And remember, the content on this website is provided for informational and educational purposes only.
Right.
And is not a replacement for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Yes.
For personalized guidance,
Yeah.
always consult with a qualified healthcare professional.
Wise words.
And for even more insights on healthy eating,
Yeah.
delicious recipes, and everything in between,
Yes.
be sure to visit eatwell.blog.
It's an amazing resource and a fantastic community of people passionate about well-being.
We're thrilled you joined us on this journey.
Yes.
Until next time,
Yes.
stay hydrated.
Stay curious.
And curious.
Yeah, and stay well.